to his computer. Hello, everyone, and welcome to season 2, episode 5 of the Movios podcast. And today I have a very, very special guest, someone who's very, very dear to my heart, my grandma, Miss Cora Small. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I just wanted to have you on here because one, I wanted to have you on here since I started this podcast. And like the reason why I wanted to have you on this podcast is basically because I feel that there are quite a few family members and even people in the world who would like to hear about, or basically hear your story from when you were growing up, you know, things that you've experienced, things that you've been through, how life was, you know, early years as a child, as a teenager, and like some of your thoughts, you know, some of your secrets, being that you are 91, about to be 92. So let's start. So you are originally from North Philadelphia, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And how were things in North Philadelphia in, you know, your old neighborhood? Actually, what neighborhood were you in? Did you grow up in?
Well, most of the time we lived in the 2100 North Fairhill Street.
Okay.
Before that, we lived on Mervine Street.
Okay.
So most of my, as I say, when we were on Fairhill Street, that's when I went to the various schools and things like that.
Okay. And you had 2 siblings?
I had, what was your question again, please?
I asked, how many siblings did you have? 2?
Well, I actually had 5 siblings.
Oh, see, I'm learning something. Okay, so you have 5 siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And their names?
Well, my oldest brother, Paul, died as a baby.
Okay.
A 2-year-old baby, and of whooping cough and pneumonia. And then I had another brother, my brother Willie. Then I had my brother Eugene, who was my pastor before he died. Okay. And then I had my sister Selena, my older sister, and I had a younger sister, Martha.
Okay.
And then yours truly.
Okay.
But of course, today, I'm the only one of my siblings that's left.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can definitely say for all of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren and all of your children, we are glad that we still have you. I'm
glad to still be here.
Yes, we are truly blessed to have an opportunity to even see you or hear your voice, and this is going to be something that I'm definitely going to play back for my child as well as for my cousins and their children. So thank you for taking time out to do this. So when you lived in North Philly, would you consider yourself a popular kid, or were you more introverted, or was it just everyone knew everyone and like
everyone just knew everyone?
Okay. And
I was, when I was in, well, no, because I was still in North Philly even when I went to high school.
Okay. And like during your youth years, like what did you guys do to keep yourself entertained?
Well, we didn't have a lot of the things that the children have today.
Very
so
true.
We had to make a lot of our own we had to make our own entertainment many times. And I remember one holiday we had just a little family dinner at our home. And when it was over, my cousins, along with my sisters and brothers and we made a little talent show just on among ourselves.
Okay.
We would introduce each other as they appeared and said what they were going to do, whether they were going to sing or dance or whatever.
Nice.
And we had a good time, an enjoyable time. But there were many things that we had to do on our own.
Okay. What was the talent that you always did?
Oh, well, I've always liked music.
Oh,
so
okay.
I love singing. So
Okay.
I love singing.
Well, I guess I got it naturally then. That sounds good. Okay. And as far as like school, like were you a model student, or were you secretly that student who always got in trouble but you never got caught?
No.
I want the truth, Grandma.
No. I was not at the top of the class, but I was always in the upper half of the class.
Okay.
My class.
Okay.
And I didn't have any trouble with my subjects at all.
Okay.
During my whole time in school.
Right. I know in college you were just like, you took over. You flew through that. And you did pretty well. Now, were you close with your siblings?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did they all live, or did they all stay in Pennsylvania, or did they all go over to like
they all
New
lived
Jersey?
in
I mean, did they move to like other states before they went, or like
my brothers and sisters all lived in Philadelphia.
Okay. But like I mean, did any of them move to like New Jersey or New York, or did they just live their entire life in Philly?
They lived their entire life in Philadelphia.
Okay. Okay. And do you still keep in contact with like your grandnieces and nephews?
Oh, yes. Yes, I keep in close contact with my nieces and nephews.
Okay. And so let's talk about your let's talk about my grandfather. Because my dad didn't know much about him because he passed away
when your dad had just turned 3.
Right, when my dad was just a baby.
Just turned 3.
Like, what are some? I mean, how did the two of you meet?
Your dad was 3 October 9th, and he died November 9th.
So how did you and Grandpop meet?
Well, he was a friend of my brother-in-law's.
Okay.
My older sister's husband.
Oh, okay. And like, was it love connection at first sight, or was it something where you just where he worked his way into your heart?
Well, I guess you might say he worked his way into my heart.
Okay. Was he like a fun and outgoing guy, or was he more to himself, like a quiet guy?
He wasn't too outgoing, not too much.
Okay. So he's pretty much a just stay at home and relax type person.
There were times when he would go out, but basically he was at home. Yes.
Okay. And I mean, as far as things that you've experienced, like I mean, you've been around quite a few generations. Have like how um what's some of your favorite changes that you've seen throughout the years as far as like um our entertainment or growth in media or the way that people handle things around them?
The way people handle things
Like
around.
like for example, um let's go with the police brutality issue and things that we're facing right now. Um, just recently, there was a police officer who was found guilty of the murder that he had done to someone who he was arresting. Um, now, back in your day, like police brutality was quite common when it came to how people of color were treated. I
You're
mean,
right. You're right. And we didn't hear of anything like this happening back then either, because we had many cases, I should say, where things that similar to that happened and nothing was done. Sort of, would you say, sort of swept under the carpet, so to speak.
right.
Mhm.
I mean,
So personally, I was glad to see the verdict.
I agree. I definitely agree. Realistically, like I myself am holding all emotion until the sentencing portion,
Yes,
just
yes.
because, in my opinion, like I think back to Botham Jean, who was young black man who was sitting in his apartment eating ice cream, and then off-duty police officer came into his home and shot him, and
Mhm.
she received a fairly short sentence um, for this. And like, I'm just concerned that even though they convicted him, even though they saw him as guilty, I feel that I'm nervous that they may give him a very short sentence.
Mhm. So
And
that's what was happening
and that worries me.
99% of the time years ago. That's what was happening. They did not hold them, the police department was not held responsible for anything that happened. They came up with some weak excuse.
Usually. Now, were any of your children out of your children, were there any of your children who were more active in social justice?
Well, to a certain extent,
Okay.
I say, they didn't get involved a whole lot, but to a certain extent, everybody had their opinion about different things that was going on, and because remember, my children were still young black males.
Right.
So you see my point there.
I definitely see your point.
So they had to be careful, even what they would say.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, so with that being said, I'm guessing that whenever something would happen, you would definitely forewarn your boys, or actually
Oh,
all of your
yeah.
children's, just to be very mindful of everything that they said and everything that they did. And
Yes, yes,
okay, and just reminded them to just stay cautious.
that's right.
Okay. That's understandable. I mean, because yes, especially well, back then and still going on now, like speaking out can definitely be a very dangerous thing. So it's good that like they were able to stay safe and um, stay away from that. Now, what's or stay out of trouble. So, is there something from your childhood or something that you that was around when you were younger that you miss that's not around today?
From my childhood.
Yes.
Mm.
Or even your teenage years.
Well, years ago, there used to be a theater in Center City where we could go see um, stage shows.
Okay.
The entertainers that would come to the city, we would go see them on stage and all. So I miss things like that.
Actually, yeah. There's especially with coronavirus going on right now, but like it's not as it doesn't happen as much as it used to. Now most people are relying on video interactions like we have now
Mhm.
or television. So yeah, I can understand how stage shows would definitely be something that you would miss because it doesn't happen as much. Um, Now you've taken a lot of things through your college years. Was there a favorite class that you had?
Uh, well, I have a couple classes that I really loved. One was my barbering.
Okay.
I still today I still love barbering, and the other is my real estate class. I love that.
Oh, I didn't know that you had a real estate class. I didn't know you
And
did anything with real estate.
mhm.
Okay. And like how far did you go with the studying of real estate? Because I know that you had your
I
barber
went all the way.
license.
I regret that I did not go to take my exam for my license. I regret that.
Well, what stopped you from taking your exam for your
Nothing
license?
really. Nothing really.
Okay.
Just didn't go. And I really regret that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
But there
def-
was other interesting subjects I had. Like for instance, I had Spanish. I had different subjects, but I loved my Spanish class too.
the real estate and barbering had taken had been the highest. Now, how long um, did you actually work with barbering and cosmetology?
From let me see. I guess about maybe about 10 years.
Okay.
Well, that's including in the shop and all, but I was still working with it even when I wasn't in the shop because by having four sons of my own, and then all my nephews and grandsons and stuff. So you see, I had quite a job.
Yes. I, I remember sitting in the chair myself for you to cut my hair. So I,
So, yeah,
I
but I was in the
definitely
shop maybe about 10 years.
Okay. And do you look back and miss those years, or was that
Hmm.
some? Do you look back and miss those years, or was that something that you were like after you've done it for 10 years, you were ready to move on and didn't want to look
No,
back?
I liked it. I still love barbering.
Oh,
I
okay.
still love barbering. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So, are there any particular shows that you enjoy watching now?
Well, I do. There are a few spiritual shows that come on that I like, but I I do.
What shows are they?
Oh,
Enlighten us, Grandma.
but I don't remember all the names. Hmm. Wait a minute. Well, I like the Steve Harvey show.
Okay.
It is on. I like that. And I like some of the morning shows, like the talk show and the
Like the
view,
talk and the view. Okay.
things like that. I like them. And and I'm trying to think of the name of some of the churches that come on the air on the TV. I can't get them together right now. Well, I I do. I watch Jimmy Swaggart sometimes,
Okay.
and other. I just can't think of the name of some of the other churches that I watch, but I do watch other churches too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
I enjoy watching the churches, the various churches.
Okay. Um, when you were growing up, even as a teenager, did you have like a favorite musician or favorite band or favorite group that you like to listen to? Because you said that you were big in music.
When I was growing up, I came up in the Nat King Cole era. I think I must have been about 14 or something like that when Nat King Cole first started. And I just loved to hear him sing. And I took my younger brother and sister down the Earl Theater that used to be down Leavenworth Market to see the King Cole Trio. And my sister often mentioned to me, she said, Cora almost froze us out there waiting to get in to see Nat King Cole. It was a cold day. I remember well, it was like a Lincoln's birthday. We were all from school, and it actually was cold that day, but we stood it because we wanted to see the show. We weren't the only one. It was called the line was long. It was a long line, but we stood the weather and we did get in to see the show.
I mean, I myself am a huge fan of Nat King Cole, so I guess it makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. He's an amazing artist, amazing voice. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like, and a lot of his music is just timeless. It's, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, great music is always timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Were there was there any music that your children listened to that caught your ear?
Yeah. Let me see. I like some of the music that they listen to. I'm just trying to think which was it.
Okay.
I didn't listen to everything they listened to, but I did like some of the music that they listened to.
Okay. So there
Yeah,
was some music that crossed generations. That's good to
mm-hmm.
know that there was some. Okay, that's good. Do you have a particular favorite holiday?
What was that?
Do you have a favorite holiday?
A favorite holiday?
Yes.
I don't know. Well, Christmas is always a big holiday with everybody. And since we started our family reunion, Thanksgiving has been a big holiday with us.
Yes.
We started our family reunion back in 1974, right in my home. And we have enjoyed it every year since, which I thank God for. And so that's always a big holiday with us since we had it.
Okay.
And when I was able to, I didn't mind having the Thanksgiving dinner. And I knew it entailed a whole lot of work.
A lot.
The one who would take it, the one who would take the dinner, I knew was a lot of work to do, but I didn't mind it. I was younger. I had the energy and the strength, and I didn't mind it. And but I thank God that it has been a success. And we have had our family dinner now since 1974.
That's good. In 1974, my dad, who was the youngest, was what, 16? All right, 16 about that time. So you kids were pretty much grown.
But so we sort of make it a special holiday because by the whole family celebrating Thanksgiving together as a whole family we celebrate it as one big family, because I do believe in the family. So to me, Thanksgiving is very special.
Yes.
It's very special to me. And I always enjoy it. And everyone to me, is as dear as the next one.
Okay. Now, is there a favorite food that you that you would eat during Thanksgiving, or a favorite food and a favorite dessert that you enjoy or that you haven't had in years at a Thanksgiving get together?
Well, at our Thanksgiving dinners, we try to put our best foot forward.
Yes.
in cooking for it. And everyone is welcome to bring whatever they would like to for the dinner. We don't try to limit anything. If anyone wants to bring anything, they can. And we try to have a variety of desserts, foods, and desserts. So,
well, I mean, like, for example, I would say maybe 10, 15 years ago, Uncle Ray used to make the lamb, and now Nell makes the lamb. So, like, do you miss Uncle Ray's lamb? Do you miss, I mean, do you get excited because Aunt Selena is making the greens? Like, is there a particular
it's
food?
good to know that we have the various good cooks around.
Yes.
That's the good part to know. So if a time came that Darnell didn't feel like fixing the lamb, then Ray was right there to fix it.
Yes.
Or if it were the other way around, that Ray didn't fix it, then Darnell is there to fix it. And as far as the greens and cabbage and stuff, Selena does fix it very good. But if Selena's not there, there's always somebody else that could step in and do it. I mean, because we're all family, so we try to encourage each other.
Yes.
We try to encourage each other in cooking, and that's why we don't limit anything. Whatever the person wants to bring in to contribute to it is fine. We put it right out there with the rest. Everything is, when we spread our table, the food that everyone bring in is right there on the table. So we can get it and enjoy it, and desserts and everything. And just as you recently started with our cream cheese pound cake, and
yes.
you mastered it. In the little time you've been doing it, you have mastered it. And it's great. It's great. I think that's a great recipe.
It is.
So it's really great. And by the same token, we have people who bring in pies, different kinds of pies, the apple pies, the sweet potato pies, people who bring in different cakes, the chocolates, the regular pound cakes, or whatever they choose to bring in. We welcome them bringing their food in, and we sit down, we bless the food. We always bless our food, and
Yes.
we sit down and enjoy it.
Yes. So very welcoming when it comes to Thanksgiving. Now, were you welcoming to your kids having friends over, like when they were growing up?
Yes. When they were growing up, you mean like for holidays?
Not just holidays, but just like
But anytime. Well,
anytime.
yes, because I have a strong belief that if you want to know your children's friends, you should invite them and make them welcome in your home. I have a strong belief in that. That's the best way to learn their friends, whom their friends are. So my children's friends were always welcome in our home. Always. We always welcome them in our homes.
Good. Nice
And when there's a holiday, such as, well, we're back at Thanksgiving or even Christmas. If they wanted to invite some of their friends over to dinner, they were always welcome to do it.
That's wonderful. They always had a place that they can go to.
Yes, because I feel that's the only way you're going to know your children's friends, or to make them welcome in your home.
And it's nice to know that, if for whatever reason they couldn't be home, or their family was away, or they just lost a family member or something of that nature, they can always come over to your place.
That's right. Because our house used to stay full, especially when my children were teenagers. Our house stayed full all the time when my children were teenagers. Yeah. So, we didn't go through the problems because for one thing, I can thank God that I never had trouble with my children getting involved with the law or anything like that. So,
yes,
and as long as you stay within the law, you shouldn't have problems. We'll put it this way. You shouldn't have problems as long as you try to stay within the law. So we'll put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, we put it that way. You shouldn't have problems. But and I just, well, but a lot of that comes, we just have to be more careful with our children as they're growing up. You can't wait until they get half grown. You got to do it from little children up when they're growing up.
Yes.
And speaking on that note, I like to just mention that when my children were small, elementary school, I was sitting at home one day and I decided I was just going to walk up to elementary school and see how my boys were doing in school. So I went to the principal's office first and I explained to him my name. I told him my name and I told him who I wanted that I was just checking on my boys to see how they act in school. So he gave me his permission to go to the classroom. But I knew just about everybody in the school from the elevator operator on out. Because many years before that, I used to be a school crossing guard at the same elementary school. So anyway, I went to the classroom And when I first got there, I saw my son, John. He's the one we call the Ira. And he was looking at me. He didn't know why I was there. But when I walked in the room, he started looking at me grinning. And so then he straightened his face up. So by the time the teacher came over to me, I said to the teacher, I says, I'm John Small's mother. And I only came I just want to check to see how he's acting in class. So the teacher acknowledged it, and she went on back to her class. So from then on, whenever I would go up to school, the teacher would just look at me, nod her head, just acknowledge that I was there, and continue with the class. She knew that was all I wanted. Yeah. But then I would leave that class and I would go to the girls' class. And I'd leave that and I'd go to Keith's class the same way. But I think more parents should do that, especially the parents that are home, the parents that are sitting home, the ones that are not working. Now, we realize you can't be two places at one time, but yes, the parents that are just sitting home, they should go and check on their children periodically. Just walk up to school and just see how they're acting. Just stand there within the door a few minutes. You'll see how they act. And then I left there and I went to the high school where my son Reynard was going. Now Ray was in 12th grade at this particular time. So he was getting ready to graduate. And when I went to his class, his teacher sent a messenger to get to the class. And the messenger came back and told the teacher, Ray had left to go to work. But I said to the counselor that I had forgotten that Ray did have a job. Ray would leave school and take the train and go to Wayne, Pennsylvania every day after school. Oh, wow. To work. He worked in a bakery in Wayne when he was in 12th grade at Dobbins, at 22nd and Lehigh.
That's a long trip. And,
yeah.
Especially back then.
When the teacher mentioned to me that Ray had left to go to work, I said, oh, that's right. He does work after school. And I mean, not the teacher, it was the counselor. I was talking with the counselor. So the counselor looked at me and smiled. He says, did he know you were coming up here? I said, no, he didn't. I said, but he didn't have to know because I'm the mother. And I said, but I tell you one thing, he won't be surprised to find out I was up here. And that's the way I said it. But I do feel that if more of our parents, the ones that are able to get out and the ones who are just sitting home doing nothing during the day, if they could just take a few minutes of the day and go up to schools and check on their children like that, I believe it would be a big help. It would encourage their children, and I'm sure it would encourage the teachers.
It definitely would.
Yes, it would. It would encourage everybody down the line. But I just mentioned that just to get that point across, that it's, sometimes we have to go out of your way. And it can mean so much to another person if you go out of your way a little bit.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Thank you for that lesson.
But we have had in our school district in Philadelphia, we know a lot of the things that has gone on through the years, with the prejudices and things like that. But we couldn't let that stop us. We had to push through. We had to keep on going. We had to be encouraged.
Yes.
We had to be encouraged. So it's just, if it's something you want to do, you just had to keep pushing until you were able to do it.
Yes.
So that's the thing that leads a lot of people on, because we know from the beginning, we know we're going to have a hard time, a rough time. And we know that if we really want it, you got to go for it. We know that.
Yes.
And you got to just hang in there until things finally give and finally turn your way.
Yes. And everything that we do, we have to be the best at what we do to even be considered.
Yes, because I remember well. I remember well when I remember well some incidents that I incurred when I was in high school with the prejudices. So, and back when I came along, there were many prejudices.
Yes.
Remember that they're bad enough today, but they were worse back then, much worse than they are today. And they didn't mind letting you know. I mean, you know, we knew things were bad, and it's just, you know, I thank God. I just have to give all the honor and all the praise and all the glory to God above, because it's only God who has spared me and able me to see such changes.
Yes.
Such changes in our lifestyles and in the politics, and the way the country's run, the way things are run, to see our first Black couple in the White House.
Yes.
And so many things that the Lord has spared me, enabled me to see. And I'm thankful. I am so thankful. I'm thankful. I'm really thankful that there's a whole lot of things, because this like I said, there's a whole lot of prejudice that we went through coming up. A whole lot of prejudices. But, you know, so I give all the praise and all the honor and all the glory to God above, because we know it was only God who spared us, enabled us to go through those things, to see these things, and to able me to live to see some of the changes in some things. And I firmly believe that as a result of this coronavirus, I believe that there are going to be many, many, many people coming to the Lord as a result of this. I believe that.
Yes.
I do believe it, no matter what some of them may say in the meantime, but I believe some of those same people are going to turn and come to the Lord. I do believe it.
Yes. There's a lot of people who are just grateful to be here, and a lot of people who've experienced so much, and a lot of people who even had the coronavirus and were able to make it through, and they want to give thanks for their ability to survive and make it through. So yes, I agree. There will be a lot of people who are just coming forward to religion and just giving praise. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of churches who have now moved, or during the coronavirus period, have moved a lot of their church sessions to online classes and online meetings like we have right now. So that's nice to see that a lot of the churches are adapting with the change, so that people don't have to miss Bible studies or just going in.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Grandma, thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you for being on this podcast with me. Your birthday is right around the corner. I just want to thank everything and thank you just for being here and just being such a wonderful influence, and like I remember one day, it was, I want to say maybe 20 years ago, Nell and I were, it was probably like 15 years ago, but I remember Nell and I were in a car. I think we were coming home from King of Prussia to a house on North 53rd Street. And Boyz II Men song, a song from Mama came on. And Nell, he asked me, who does this song make you think of? And immediately both of us went to you, because like we can't go a day without you. Like we love you. Your grandchildren, all of us, Booby, Damon, myself, all of us, we love you. We think the world of you. Fred, like all of us just think the world of you, and we are grateful for you, and we are glad that we have you around.
Well, I thank you. I thank you, Keith, for asking me to even say anything on this program. And I thank God for him sparing me.
Yes.
I thank him. I thank him. Because if I should live to see May 24th, I will be 92 years old.
Yes.
So I thank him for sparing me. And I just thank him. I thank him for all of my children and grandchildren. And there are 5 generations of us.
Yes.
5 generations. Yes. And for the 90th birthday party that you all gave me, it was just out of sight. It really was.
We were happy that we could do it for you.
Everything was so nice. And I just can't even describe how it was. Everybody was so impressed with it. Everybody enjoyed themselves. It was just nice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I told Nell that you were going to be a little mad at me because of the way that they got you over there.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we all love you. We all just wanted to make sure that you knew that we appreciate you. And
well, I appreciate my children. I love them all. Children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. I love them all. And I don't love any one any more than the others. I love them all. My love is divided equally among all of them. I do. I love them all from the bottom of my heart.
Now, I'm going to make the cake for you. First chance I get. As a matter of fact, I'll probably make it tonight and bring it tomorrow or Saturday. However, was there any, like, did you want a special dish for your birthday, special food, or anything in particular?
I can't think of anything else, especially other than my cream cheese pound cake.
And was there a particular, did you want the ice in a particular flavor, or like lemon or amaretto,
just the buttercream icing.
Just a regular buttercream? Vanilla buttercream. Okay, Grandma. Well, thank you so much, and I would like to thank all of the listeners for being here with us. I do this once a week. I post this every Wednesday. I would like to thank again my special guest, my grandmom, Cora Small, for being here. And if you would like to reach us, you can always reach us on our Facebook page, on Twitter, or you can reach us on Instagram. I'm Keith Small, and I would like to thank you all for listening to the Muvios podcast.